Duncan Riley here from the Inquisitor, and taking a hands-on look today at Apple's new MobileMe service. This is the upgrade from the old .Mac service. A lot of the things are still quite similar. There has been some upgrades, a bit of obviously new coat of paint, a bit of a refresh, a bit of extra space. For those who have never signed up to the service before, but obviously it does cost. And I'm just going to have a quick walk through it so you can see what you get. Obviously the view I'm in at the moment is email. As you can see, email comes in this case it's my .Mac account, my first ever iTunes invoice, various emails there. What I like about this, we'll set up a folder. So I've just set up a folder called test, and this is the part I like about it. Drag and drop, traditional email but implemented on the web. Something Gmail doesn't offer, and one thing that's always held me back from using the Gmail interface itself. I know other people don't think on the same lines, but I like my drag and drop an email. As you can see, you have the various options there. You also have ability to manage raised junk messages. I'll go on up here. Now here's your preference panel. You can change the look of it. Composing, you can obviously have you basically email sort of stuff have a signature. Viewing options there. Alias is quite handy if you're using another email address. You can then use that email address as what you're sending out on. So, for example, if you wanted to import your Gmail or another email address in here, you can send out using that address. In others, you can actually check pop email, which is quite handy. So if I click that, I can actually type in Gmail or something else. So you can actually import other email in there. And forwarding. Other options, we have address book. Now I've managed to muck mine up somewhat due to duplicates. I don't know how, and there's no duplicate manager but I'm aware of, and it's given me all of this rubbish. Let's see if I can find one. So yeah, I mean, like your Apple Mail, you can click on there, you can add details in there. Pictures and whatnot as well. I quite like the address book functionality in Mac, and this takes it to the web. And if you're obviously not using a Mac, if you're a Windows user, this adds Apple-style address book functionality on the website. Across to calendar. If it eventually loads, here we go. Here's the calendar set up here. We can add additional calendars, new calendar groups. The one thing it doesn't seemingly have, and I'll go into preferences, is the ability to import in outside calendars, which is what the desktop calendar program does have in Mac. This is important for me anyway because I import all my Facebook information there. So the reason why most of that's blank, I don't think I'll actually find anything there, no. Completely blank is because most of my data comes in from Facebook, so that's a disappointing side of calendar. Gallery view, now this is another feature carried over from the .Mac package. If you're using iPhoto, you can easily export pictures out. Now I actually use this for my photos my son's taken. You can see them here. This is a private gallery which is password protected, and what I do is I upload the photos and basically send out the login details to family and friends so they can see the photos. It's a smart photo gallery option. It can be done in other things, and obviously Picasa Web does a similar sort of service, but it's a nice looking sort of thing. iDisk is the next one. This is the Apple's backup service. You can drag files there. You can see I've had files here. It doesn't do auto preview, which I thought was pretty disappointing. Okay, I don't think I've got anything in iWeb. And again, yeah, it's basically file management. Very handy if you've got a Mac. You just drag and drop it into iDisk. And as you can see, occasionally I've dropped things in there which I need to access. I've never really used it a lot, but it's handy to have. And again, you can get free versions. Going into accounts. As you see, I mean, the whole thing's, it's certainly visually quite appealing. This will eventually load. Okay, so here's the details here. You can see the data transfer 200 gig a month. You can obviously set it up. I mean, probably one of the biggest things is here is the push email going into an iPhone. One thing I did notice on it, and this might have been there before, you can actually now domain a URL map a domain. So if you want to use this for your web hosting, you can use this for your own personal web hosting, which I thought was quite a nice touch. You can tweak where your storage is allocated. So you get 20 gig in the moment. It splits it between mail and iDisk, and your other details there. And I'll just pop into back to mail. So that's pretty much MobileMe. That's what you get with MobileMe in a nutshell. It's $99 US. And it seems to be translating into actual real money as opposed to an inflated price. Elsewhere, the Australian price is about 108. So handy. I could see myself using the mail, but you know, it's a hard sell when you consider a lot of these functions you can get elsewhere for free. It's just, if you do go for it, you'd go for it because it's integrated. All of this syncs back and forward. It syncs nicely between your various computers. In my case, I have a desktop Mac Pro and a laptop MacBook Pro, and of course my iPhone, so all the data gets synced across. And I'll keep subscribing it just for that, but you can also do that with Plex. So that's MobileMe in a nutshell.